And my next guest is a retired colonel of the Israeli Defense Forces, serving more than 20 years in a variety of different roles in Israeli military intelligence. Retired Colonel Miri now serves as a senior fellow at the International Institute for Counterterrorism at Reichman University in Israel. Colonel, good to see you. I want to get your reaction to Israel's attack on Qatari soil. Do you agree with this move?
I think that terrorists should not have safe havens. And Kira, I say that even if it's in Qatar or for that matter in Pakistan, where the United States killed Osama bin Laden. We're talking about terrorists. I've heard people call them political leadership. These are Hamas terrorists who are not inside the Gaza Strip, who are not inside Judea and Samaria, the West Bank. They are terrorists. They not only call for the destruction of Israel, they were active participants who now sit in Qatar. So I think that in that sense, doing it is definitely a deterring idea against terrorists anywhere. I don't want them to feel safe.
Well, let me follow up because Qatar, was hosting Hamas negotiators at the request of the United States. So how can the U.S. take this as anything other than a slap in the face?
It's not about the U.S. And in this sense, I'm sitting here, I'm in Tel Aviv, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking around that if it was any other place, Qatar doesn't have diplomatic ties with Israel. Israel was very pinpointed in the attack itself. Israel did not only struck against the Hamas leadership when we, according allegedly, attacked and killed in the summer of last year in 2024, Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh at the heart of Tehran. That's okay, but if it's the Hamas leader in Qatar, that's not okay. And again, I say that this isn't about the U.S., this is about Israel, it's about Hamas, and Hamas hold these hostages, and they're not good guys. This isn't about peace, as I heard before from the correspondent. This is about a horrific attack, taking hostages and trying to find leverage against horrible terrorists. There is no easy way, and as I said, I don't want terrorists to feel safe anywhere.
Understood. But Qatar is a U.S. ally. And also, if you heard from our Ian Pannell, our chief foreign correspondent, Israel didn't even get to any high-ranking Hamas leadership here.
First of all, we still don't know, and I accept that as such. That's one of the things that can happen. You can have both intelligence, you can do pinpoint, you can miss. You have to take that into account. The impact right now is that Israel knows where to find them or nearby, has that capability. And Kira, as you've seen, we've done that both against Hezbollah leaders inside Lebanon, against, in that sense, the hierarchy of all of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards inside Iran, and now inside Qatar. So you have that capability. The question is what you do with it. Does this change the way that Hamas, who's ever left now, are going to run the negotiations? Are they going to do it at all? And again, when we say negotiations, it's as if there's two sides. We're sitting at the table. This is not that kind of situation. This is the direct result of that October 7th attack, of taking 250 hostages, of slowly over 700 days, holding still 48 hostages, holding them, starving them, torturing them, and torturing us. And in that sense, that Hamas leadership that was sitting there, and I've listened to them on a day-to-day basis, have openly called me, Miri, all Israelis, we're the cancer of the world, that if you want to make the world a better place, erase the state of Israel. They have said that from Qatar on a day-to-day basis. So I'm not going to mourn for them. What I want to hope is that this opens a door for negotiations to arrive at bringing the hostages home. That's not peace. That's not the same thing. But those hostages that were brutally taken need to come home. And the war in the Gaza Strip, the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip deserve a better future.
All right, let me follow up with that, because Qatar's prime minister has accused Prime Minister Netanyahu of trying to sabotage every attempt now to create those opportunities for peace that you talk about, with growing military incursions in Gaza and a seeming end to the hostage negotiations. Do you think Netanyahu has just given up on peace at this point?
Kira, it's a great question. I don't even want to ask Netanyahu. I want you to ask me that, because I'm not the prime minister of Israel, and this isn't about my positions as prime minister. I think that I've woken up since October 7th that Hamas wants to destroy us. I think that that leadership was in Qatar. I didn't attack Qatar, anybody there, very surgical in that sense. I'm going against that leadership so that they don't have a safe haven there. I was kind of thinking about that, if you're aware that there's a lot of Hamas leaders in Turkey, and that would really be breaking every single possibility if Israel would go after them there. But should they have a safe haven? I don't think right now that we should be putting Israel on the exact same level, not as Qatar, most definitely not a democracy, certainly not as Hamas. We're legitimizing Hamas. Peace is supposed to be for the Palestinian people. Peace is not supposed to be about Hamas and that Hamas leadership calling for my annihilation. That's not peace talk, and they've done that every single day. Coming in, taking hundreds of people, torturing, butchering, and holding them for so long, that's not peaceful. We're trying to arrive at a resolution, and I definitely think that for be able to get to a better future for the Palestinian people, separate from the Hamas terrorist organization, you need to call that out. And I blame my government for so many things, but not for that.
Then who do you negotiate with? If not Hamas, who do you negotiate with?
At the end, the Hamas in the Gaza Strip are the ones who are holding the hostages, not those fellows who are living in, $1-million houses inside Qatar, the ones who are outside. And again, they're terrorists. They're not political leaders. So yes, you need to find that. There are always people instead. It's making a point in its own way. They're not safe. They're going to be hunted. And at the end, it's interesting because the United States of America does not negotiate with terrorists. And in this case, we are negotiating with what is a terror organization defined by the United States, by Canada, by the EU, by Israel, because we have no choice. They're holding our people, and they have taken them brutally and held them for over 700 days. So this isn't a nice situation. So yes, you're going to negotiate with whoever is left. That isn't a happy kind of situation. But at the end of the day, if they don't give the hostages back, and we're going to have to pay a price, I'm not saying we won't, even though I don't want to pay a price. It's like, yay, they get to attack us, take hostages, and we have to pay a price. I understand that. We're not in the easy situation, but I want Hamas to be under pressure. I don't want them to define the rules of the game, not for you, not for me, not anywhere in the world, because if their modus operandi of attacking, taking hostages, butchering, killing, holding them for 700 days, and then legitimizing themselves works, it's going to be all over the world. It's going to be copycat in the terror army world.
Retired IDF Colonel Miri Eisen, great to have your insight today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kira.